right. Hello, everyone. We are back with a special video containing what you need to know as a content creator to become successful. And there's a lot of different ways to be successful, but there's one thing that you need to do that's going to make all of the difference for your content brands, whether you're a podcaster or a YouTuber or anything like that. And we have a really awesome person who's going to be talking with us for this YouTube Live, Michelle Schaefer, who is the creator of Lingo Dynamics and the Hook Line Dynamic app. She is passionate about helping mission-driven entrepreneurs build successful businesses that make a positive difference in the world. So in this video, you're going to learn what this essential thing is and how you can leverage it. So let's start off by welcoming Michelle, and then we'll dive into this a lot further. So Michelle, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to connect with you and the audience today and chat about collaboration and how it really can help you grow your visibility in your business so much faster. I know you have used collaboration in all sorts of ways. I've been kind of checking into all the stuff you've done to grow your business, and I know that you've seen it work. So I'm excited to chat with you.
Yeah, I mean, collaboration is just so essential. And by the way, that is the one thing that I was alluding to earlier, but with collaboration, it's not just you promoting your content. It's not just you creating your content, because with the content creation, like a lot of it is like you feel like you're solo, and that's a big mistake. Like right here, like there's no one with me in this physical space right now other than my books, but being able to have someone like Michelle on a video like this really makes a big difference when it comes to not just creating content and pumping it out, but also with the marketing. So I think a good place to start is where do we find these collaborations? Because I think people see collaboration, they think, wow, I don't know where I'm going to find anyone.
Right, absolutely. You know, that's a great question. And I know I felt that way when I first got started online, and I was very much in the blogging space. I was working way too hard trying to get traffic to my site. Like I would write really great articles and then I'd be frustrated because like 3 people would read it. And I didn't realize right away that the fastest way to get an audience, instead of trying to find people one at a time, was to go to somebody who's already got a huge audience and get them on board with sharing you in some way. So putting some of my content on other people's blogs, on other people's podcasts, YouTube channels, different places that we can get in front of more people. And the easiest way to figure out who is good to collaborate is just really get clear on who are you looking for, and then ask yourself, who's got a whole bunch of my ideal audience already gathered together? So you're going after the right people to connect with.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, collaboration, it is you getting in front of a lot of more people's audiences. And I think that's something that we really have to look at, because people think of building a whole audience from scratch. But I mean, like with something as Pinterest, if you're in a group board that has 10,000 followers, you have 10,000 followers overnight because you're in the right collaboration. But one of the things that like people who, especially as they get bigger, they're not going to collaborate with everyone. So how do we make ourselves more enticing to someone who are going to asking for that collaboration?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, and I think it's something that I know you have tips on, because you've done some telesummits where you brought in some really cool names and got them on board. And I think there's a couple of things. The first is being, you know, organized, having your stuff together so that when you approach people, you know exactly what you're asking for and you have a clear outline for them. Because I've had a lot of people approach me that it's like this little chaos bomb and I'm not even quite sure what they're asking. So even if I want to say yes, I'm like, I don't quite understand what I'm saying yes to. So that's one thing, is get really clear on what you're asking people for. I think the second thing is, before you want to reach out to somebody, make a connection with them. So one of the things that I do, and I know a lot of people who have a similar approach, is I've got a list of people who at some point I really want to collaborate with. So I will pay attention to what they're doing on social media, what they're sharing on their blog, on their YouTube channel, and I make it a point to go and comment and interact and share their stuff so they start seeing me show up. And then that way, when I reach out and say, hey, I would love to feature you in whatever the thing is, they're way more likely to recognize my name and say yes, because they've seen me supporting them, sharing their content, and really diving into their community. And then the third thing is giving people a reason. So more than just, you know, and this is one thing that a podcast is great for. I'm able to reach out to people and say, hey, I'd love to interview you on my podcast. I'm getting them in front of my audience. When you have a reason for people to say yes. It really helps. What we're teaching inside of Live Collab Code, which we're excited to have you on with us next week, Mark, is a process that kind of puts that idea on steroids. It gives you 5 steps, and one of them is a live video stream where you're able to say, even if you're brand new, hey, I expect to have 500, 1,000, 1,500 people on, and we show you how you make that happen. So when you reach out to somebody, even if they're an influencer who you might feel is a little bit further along in business than you are, they get excited about it, because who doesn't want to be in front of 1,000 or 2,000 new people who are the audience they're looking for? So those are some of the things that I would say we can do to make ourselves more attractive when we're reaching out to people.
And that is a really great point. Like being able to give them that platform where they are in front of a lot of people, because if you're in front of thousands of people, you're more likely to say yes. And when you're doing things like engaging with their content, it's easier to, get that person to say yes. Some of these things, they do take a while. For a personal example, try to get Grant Cardone on the show. I've been trying to get him on for at least 2 years. I've talked about this on a few other places, but like I have a reminder set on my phone to reach out to his assistant in July, because that's when she said reach out. So some of these things, like with big players, it can take a lot of time, but if you keep pursuing it, it's definitely something that can happen, is well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the interesting things that have come up as I've been interviewing people and talking to them about collaboration and reaching out to influencers is almost everybody has a story like that. They're like, this is the person I wanted, and it took me 8 emails, or it took me this many back and forth. And some of it's just about being persistent and going, no, I know this is somebody who I am going to connect with at some point, and just going for it with that. One other thing that's really worked for me when it's come to getting the attention of somebody that, has no clue who I am, is investing in something that they offer, whether it's even just a book that they've written, but a course, a product, something where I can find something in it, apply it to my business, and get a result. So then I can reach out to them, not from the perspective of, hey, I want to collaborate with you, hey, I want to interview you, but hey, I got this thing from you, even if it's a blog post and it's something free, I got this strategy from you. Here's what I did with it. Here's the results I got. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because when you can reach out and become a case study for somebody, then you've got their attention, and they want to share you in that case, because you're validating what they do. So that's another strategy that can work to get an influencer's attention if if the emails and the other things aren't getting through.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just so many different ways to get the attention of someone, and it's like the more things you try, the more likely you are to get in front of someone. Like, it's not just liking their stuff on Instagram; it's commenting on their stuff on Instagram, liking their stuff on Twitter, commenting on their YouTube videos. I mean, the more touches you have, the easier it is to get someone to say yes and then agree to do that collaboration. And one of the questions that I do have, and I feel like this is something that it's not just collaborations, but it's content as a whole, but I like to focus this on collaborations. People, they think about collaboration. Maybe they have some collaborations done already, and it's really great. It gets you audience and stuff like that. But in your opinion, what works for you, and what are some best tactics to turn the collaborations into profit?
Oh, that is a great question. That's one of the things that when I first started figuring out, okay, how do I work with people to get in front of their audience, I had not figured out yet, right? I started with I just want to get more people reading my blog posts, because you're putting effort into creating your videos or your blog or your podcast, and you want it to help people. And there were a couple of things that worked for me. When I was first starting out with it, I started signing up for affiliate programs. And so when I would promote somebody else or share their stuff, I would be an affiliate, and that would generate cash flow in my business. And that worked really well when I was building things up. Now, when I approach collaboration, usually I'm looking at, how does this tie into the next product or service I'm offering? How is building this list really targeted towards that? So for example, the live stream on Tuesday, we're bringing guests on who have done collaboration well, but they teach something slightly different than what we're teaching. So they're a good fit to cross promote. And of course, we've got trainings around it that we can offer, and we can say, okay, here's what we're teaching. If you'd like the next step, here's how to engage with us more so that we can support you with it. And so really it's getting strategic about who you're reaching out to, how you're collaborating, and always knowing what that next step is for people, so that once they've collaborated and brought that traffic in, then you're able to give people something to go to that does generate cash flow in your business.
Yeah, and it is interesting to be strategic. And a lot of these collaborations they do end up being interview style. Now there are some like different collaborations out there. Interview style is just one of the ones you see very often. So like with a podcast, it took a while for me to make money with that, but I was building connections, growing the show, and now I get approached by sponsors. I'm able to promote my
Awesome.
strategy calls and affiliate links, as Michelle did in the beginning. By the way, you don't have a product, you have affiliate links to promote, so no excuses there. And
Yep.
you could do like virtual summits also. So there's certainly a lot of ways. If you're strategic about it, you can make money. It's just that you have to think a little before you
Mhm.
start creating the content for that collaboration.
Yes, absolutely. And that's very true. You have no excuse not to have something to offer people as a next step because there are so many great products and things out there as an affiliate that you can promote.
Yeah, I mean, like just like having this conversation, like we're really just hitting upon the surface of collaboration. I mean, we could go on for like several more hours about collaborations, how it's good, different ways to do it. Uh,
Yeah.
so if you're wondering, like, like
Yeah.
what that conversation would look like, well, Michelle has this really awesome event that I am a part of, and I'm talking about collaboration. Michelle has a lot of awesome other guests who are going to talk about collaboration. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your event and where we can find it?
Absolutely. Yes. So Mark, if you could put your link out for people, that would be awesome. We will share that with you guys. And we're doing a live stream Tuesday, June 18th. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we've got an amazing lineup of guests, including Mark, who've used collaboration in different ways to grow their business. And what we're going to be teaching specifically is a 5-phase process that you can put into action in your business that allows you to start with what are you offering? So that question you just asked about how do you turn this into cash flow in your business and actually grow your business with it is where we start. What's the offer that makes sense based on what you're passionate about, based on what your clients want, and based on what your collaborative partners will be willing to promote? So that's phase one. Then we go to phase two, which is how do you figure out who to ask, who to invite, and get them on board with you? So we've got all sorts of tactics. In fact, for people who sign up, we have a free gift on the thank you page. It's a Strategic Alliance Black Book that will give you endless ways to brainstorm who to reach out to, as well as on the last page of that, we've given you guys 5 of our secret resources we use to kind of cut to the front of the line and get influencers' attention. So you'll want to check that out. It's on the thank you page after you grab your seat. But that's phase 2. How do you enroll guests in the process? Phase 3 is how do you get buzz for it? So how do you get people promoting and excited about doing things like Mark and I are doing right now to get people to show up and be part of your event? Phase 4 is the live day. So it's using live video just like this. Anybody can do it to create an event, get people excited about it. And then phase 5 is what do you do after that to get more sales in and to continue building on all of the publicity, all of the new leads that are on your list, and all of that growth from what you put together in the process. So we're going to break the whole thing down live. It's starting at 10 a.m., like I said, going pretty late in the day. We're going to go 6 or 7 hours with this. So really diving into how do you do this in your business? What's working right now? What are best practices for getting people on, getting them to share you so that you can really get to where you want to be in your business a lot faster? Because you can do it the slow way, one person at a time, or you can build your audience by borrowing them from people who've already got them in one place so you can really explode what you're doing in business. So that's the basic what we're going to cover, and I am super excited to go live Tuesday and ask you some more questions about how it's worked for you and share more about our process.
Michelle, that sounds like a really awesome event. I mean, I'm happy that you asked me to speak at it, which I'm really grateful for. Lineup's really great. Link down below for anyone who is interested. Michelle, I'm very grateful you took the time to be on this live, talk about your event, and
Absolutely.
hopefully a lot of people will join us on Tuesday.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. And we will see you live on Tuesday.